Okay, everyone, it is time to talk about the hatch. It is time to discuss my final thoughts on the event, and we are going to dive into that today. Now, so I live streamed the hatch, right? I streamed it for like 2 days, and I ended up quitting it the second day. And the reason why I mainly quit the event is because I figured out that apparently you can end up getting the same egg and it doesn't count towards your 100. And honestly, this is disappointing. And this is the annoying thing, of course, about getting duplicates in any game, right? Is like you didn't get the new item, and now you have to end up grinding another thing in order to like get the other thing, and it's just so time consuming. Like the event itself, I realized just became such a time consuming plethora, and I just decided like, yeah, I'm not gonna play it because I'm not gonna enjoy it. Like you guys aren't necessarily gonna enjoy me watching it as much as, me doing other stuff. So that's why I decided to quit the event. But the event honestly, it's not all negative. With the Teddy situation, I think a lot of people kind of already shed a negative light on the event and just kind of going into it for the first couple days. It was boring, personally. It was boring. Like there wasn't really anything to like really talk about like while playing the game because there wasn't necessarily anything too exciting. It was just like walk, grab the egg, and then go. And there wasn't necessarily any fun elements with that. Now there were games like Pet Story that kind of saved the event through like an obby, and there was that. I mean, Jailbreak's bit was good as well. I wanted to mainly play that in the second hatch stream I did, or on day 2 of the hatch, I should say. I really wanted to play that, and I did, and Jailbreaks was pretty good. So there were games that did save the event. So not all the games were bad. Even that 400 stage obby, despite the fact that it wasn't necessarily the best thing, I thought it was still pretty good. So there were some good things about the event. There were some good games that did try, and then there were others that, couldn't really put in much effort. Number one, because of Roblox's deadline, or the late notice that Roblox gave them. And number two, like I just don't think some developers really cared too much to do anything big for the event because they knew the event itself was already going to be a flop. So, I mean, it was disappointing, of course, for the experience. The experience was kind of disappointing for me because I was really looking forward to streaming this event. I thought it was going to be very, very fun. And then, like, it wasn't. And frankly, I found this worse than the games event or really any other event on Roblox other than the Haunt. Like, the Haunt was honestly just the worst in my opinion, but, the Hatch I would say is definitely like second worst. And frankly, it's just because all the games kind of, for the most part, made it too easy. And, just doing the same thing over and over and over again for an event for hours and hours on end, it just eventually got boring. And frankly, I didn't want to do that anymore, especially considering if I got duplicates of the same thing, because part of that is it's just luck at that point, and that was kind of saddening, personally. But like I said, I don't think the event was all bad. There were some good games in there, and we're gonna dive into some more stuff regarding the hatch in a second that were also good. But yeah, I mean, like I said, some of the games were good. I didn't play all the games, but like I said, games like Jailbreak, Pet Story, they were still pretty good because they had you do something that was like exclusive and unique. And, that was a nice little element to the event compared to other games. But the other good thing about this event though, and actually this was probably the best thing about the event, like visual wise, was the hub. The hub was awesome. The fact that you were able to fast travel to places was an awesome feature. The fact that there were different biomes, different elements was awesome. Like that part of the event was awesome. It was amazing. And the reason why it's amazing is because it not only visually looked good, but there was a lot to do in the hub. Like if all the eggs were in the hub, I wouldn't mind that at all. That'd be better honestly, than having like 1,000 different Roblox games in the event. And, I think that aspect of the hub should be used for future events. Like, have a hub as big as this, have a game hub as big as this in the future. Um, you know, Roblox, I feel like they should do that. And if they do that, I have a feeling the next event will be successful because, Twin Atlas, they do great every time. And frankly, the ability to kind of like fast travel around. Sure, you had to kind of go into the ship every time and go back into the hub. That aspect sucked. Just having to kind of go back in repeatedly after each game. But really, other than that, the hub was probably like a 10 out of 10. Like, it was a perfect hub. I really, really liked it despite not even checking out all the areas and not checking out every single biome. Even the cutscenes were cool, where the eggs went into the portal. That was cool. And there's something I'll get into later as well, where, this could be something for the end of the event that might actually, kind of gain it some brownie points. But overall, though, like, the hub was awesome. I feel like in the other events before, the hub was decent, but like there wasn't necessarily anything you really did in it besides join Roblox games anyways. And with this hub, I mean, there's some more that you can do regarding like the trading and stuff. That was one benefit about kind of making it like an RNG game, is the fact that there was a little more to do in the hub than like previous events. And sure, the games event, that was kind of the same, where you could kind of do a little more in the hub regarding like quests and stuff like that. I'm surprised they didn't add that in this. I mean, they kind of did, but that was just more so revolved around the egg collecting in games. Like, if they had quests in the hub like they did with the games event, I think it probably would have turned out to be better than the games event. Like if you had side quests and if you had different characters around the hub. Like, I feel like Roblox really tried doing too much for the event, and because of that, that's why the event kind of crashed. But if they just stuck with one game, gave a bunch of quests in that hub, because the hub is, like I said before, the hub is huge. Like, you could do a bunch of stuff in the hub, and if they had, like, different quests, like, I feel like, and maybe it wouldn't be the best event even if they did that, but it would still be very, very good, and I think better than other events if they just stuck with that. And maybe, sure, you can involve a few Roblox games, like 25 or 50. But, like 300, 400, 1,000, it's pretty wildly absurd. So, yeah. And especially doing the same thing over and over again. That was the main thing. I mean, if the games all had unique quests, and if they were all different, then honestly, I would probably continue playing the event. Because all the games have their own unique thing. If they all had their own unique thing, if they all had their own unique cool egg that you were able to get, and that would make getting 100 eggs a lot easier because they're all unique instead of all the same type. That would also be a nice little benefit as well if Roblox wanted to do something big like this, but they didn't. They didn't, and instead we had egg duplicates, and it was just disappointing and frustrating, and I didn't want to have to go through it. Um, so yeah. And I thought this would have been an easy event to grind too, honestly. And honestly, it probably is, but it's just boring. And it's like, yeah, no. I'd rather do other things. Um, but yeah. Getting more into it though, of course, the hatch is the lowest rated recent Roblox event. Like I said though, and I already kind of went over this, but I really think that the haunt should have a worse rating because I think the event itself is worse. But I understand why people tank the hatch so much, is because it just gets so repetitive. I mean, sure, the haunt does too, but like, it's especially more frustrating when it's like you kind of find a whole egg. Like, it takes longer to find these eggs than it does to like take a photo in this game. And I suppose because this is easier and it's almost like instantaneous, and this takes time, and then you end up just getting like a duplicate that isn't really worth much anyway. I suppose that's why maybe that could be a potential reason why people are more frustrated with this event regarding like the gameplay experience aspect of it. I mean, that's something I'm kind of disappointed about, but I feel like that's something to take into account, and maybe that's why the hatch does have a lower rating than the haunt. Um, so there is that. And I decided to check this out. 23% likes now. Um, it's now 23%, you know? And it literally has been out for what, almost a week? The Hatch Even Worse edition? Oh no. Oh no, but yeah, it's at 23% now. It just keeps going down and down and down. Like if it ends up becoming 15% by the end of the event, I wouldn't be surprised. Um, but that was kind of saddening. Like Hatch a Capybara has more of a like percentage than the Hatch does, almost double. It's honestly crazy. But they also decided to do this though the other day. Which I mean, I suppose is kind of cool, like Merge Mania limited time in order to get rarer eggs, or more rare eggs, I should say. So, I mean, this aspect was kind of cool. I don't think I necessarily did this. I don't really remember doing this, but I mean, hey, I mean, that's pretty cool. Actually, no, I did do it. Wait, no, I'm sorry. I think I did do this. No, I apologize. I did do this on stream. I did it on the second hatch day. See, I'm already forgetting some of the hatch stuff because it's like none of it is also memorable either. Like there isn't necessarily anything I'll probably remember about the hatch after this. After this event ends. And that's the thing too, is that I think a Roblox event itself needs to have like a memorable moment in order for it to stick with me and actually be really good. And this hatch event, like, there's nothing I'm gonna remember about it. Like even the games event, I'm probably gonna remember some stuff. Like I remember the epic mini games thing from the games event. What am I gonna remember in the hatch? Maybe the jailbreak thing and doing like one thing or two and that's it. So I mean that's something else that I think every event needs to have as well, is like a memorable moment. And frankly, the hatch isn't gonna really have any for me, and that's why I think the hatch is such a bad event. But the haunt, like, I don't even remember any of it. The hatch, I might like remember like one small thing, and maybe that's why in my eyes the hatch is a better event than the haunt. Um, but yeah, I mean this Merge Mania thing was cool. I mean it was nice to get some eggs, possibly, even though I think I got duplicates again anyway. But this Merge Mania thing, I'll admit, was kind of cool, and it's nice that Roblox was trying to nerf the event a little bit with this. But also there was this, and actually this kind of gives me, I feel like the event would gain brownie points for this, like if this does become a thing. Like literally, it's a meteor egg. It's a meteor egg. And I'll admit, if Roblox does something with this, that would actually be awesome. Like that would probably boost the event for me if they did something where like they just annihilated the whole event. I honestly think that would be funny for like everybody in the Roblox community. So this gives me a slight hope that the event will be just a little better if they did that. Just annihilate the whole map with the meteor egg. That would be funny. But I mean, I would assume that this would be when the event ends. That's my guess. Is that the meteor is probably gonna hit the map once the event ends. Because I haven't heard anything about this yet. But perhaps I'll live stream the event again, just for the sake of the map being destroyed. They're kind of pulling a Bloxburg with this. They're kind of pulling a Roblox Bloxburg, but I mean, hey, this might be the coolest part of the event potentially. So I might go live with the hatch again if they did something like this and if it's actually cool. But if I had to guess though, that won't be till July 12th if I can even stream it. So yeah. So maybe I'll check this out. But there was also this. RBX Events posted this a couple hours ago. Regarding where I would position the hatch. And frankly, I just thought the event was mid. And I don't think the event is terrible because I think a few games saved it, right? Like I said before, some of them kind of added a unique spin, but primarily just due to like Roblox's miscommunication and stuff, and due to the event kind of getting eventually pretty repetitive. On this list, I would probably put it under. I would probably put it between okay or sub bar. I would probably put it somewhere in there. It definitely wasn't a good event in my eyes or a great event, but it was definitely somewhere around this section. I would probably put it under maybe low okay or high on sub bar, but but yeah, that's probably where I would put it. But like I said though, the event is mid in my eyes. It still is, you know, like And the fact that it's a mid-event to me, like, it doesn't necessarily, like, I just don't necessarily find it worth playing anymore. And, I doubt I'm gonna, like I said, I doubt I'm really gonna remember the event after it's over. Unless if they come up with something cool regarding this meteor egg thing. But really, other than that, I'm not gonna remember anything about it, really. So yeah, I know this was kind of a somber video. But this will probably be my last video on the hatch. Unless if, like I said, they do something cool with the meteor egg stuff. But yeah. I hope you all. I hope. Thank you to everybody who tuned into this video. If y'all haven't yet, make sure to leave a like, subscribe, turn on notifications. I'll catch you all in the next one. Peace out. Woo!